Alright, welcome back everybody. It is Saturday the 3rd of August 2024. It's a little after 8 o'clock in the morning. We've got some cloud cover moving in. We had a short spurt of sunshine this morning. Thank goodness the clouds are starting to move in, because that'll thwart any heat buildup here in the dungeon. You know, after reviewing my last video, I have to apologize to everyone for jiggling all over the place, except for what I was talking about. Man, that was horrible. Damn. And I've even complained to other creators who do videos when they start jiggling the camera around. I mean, I kind of joke at them that they really need to practice their pointing skills, and I need to do better. So I'm sorry for that. I'll try to stay on target today. We pulled all the other stuff that we put in the tank last night and got it cleaned up. It's out there roasting under the benevolent sun and getting dried off, so we can bring them in and get finished what we need to refinish and prepped what we need to prep for final assembly. Jumping into this here after we got that done, push button assembly. As you can see, all of these darn pieces of strips of tape have broken, give loose. The gummy bears have ungummied and decided to strand these coils to their own devices. So what I did was I used my Loctite extreme glue. It's not that extreme, but it is kind of rubberized, and it does flex a little bit, and it still holds pretty good. What I did was, I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the slickiness right there all down the thing, all across that coil. And over here where the end of this loop ends, to keep those down and dirty, and on this end where the start of the loop is, we're going to let that cure up, and then we're going to clean up this push button assembly. Let me turn this thing up to show you the other side. And let's get some light on that. Some light over there. You see this crap? I'm going to have to take a doggone little paintbrush and brush all of this stuff off and work it lightly so that we can, this side is the top side. Look at all this. I mean, cleaning it is no problem. Over here, yeah, the coils are a problem, because you don't want to be hitting this with any stiff bristles, or you'll wreck your day. But we'll get this spritzed here, and we'll clean this with a brass bristle brush and get it all cleaned, and as well as the other side. And what I would suggest everybody, if they're gonna do any push buttons, put a diverter on the thing, or a protector on it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a light piece of cardboard, probably a mil thick or something like that, like cardstock. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to affix it to the top here when the assembly goes back on the tower, and that will eliminate the occurrence of this happening again. I mean, out here in the desert, you'll get a lot of this stuff. I mean, if you sit still long enough and you get the right kind of light, like say that Cree light right there, I mean high intensity light, and narrow the beam down and put it in a stationary position and look down that beam, you'll see this shit floating everywhere in the room. But the beam of light will give you the telltale. That stuff will reflect off of that bright white light, and you'll see this stuff floating around through that beam. Out here in the desert especially, man, you'll really get this stuff. You don't notice it that much because you're neck deep in it, but you get up on a rise on a small incline or a hill or something, even up on the top of your house, and look out through the valley, you'll see what some would refer to as pollution. Yeah. Breathe deep, Luke. So that's what we're going to do with that. We're going to, when this is all said and done and everything is going back in, we're going to make a shield for this and eliminate this stuff from building up on this stuff. In case you haven't noticed, the magnetic fields seem to attract a lot of debris, and it just comes in and sticks to it. I guess they call it accretion. So anyway, that's what we're going to do with this. So what else are we going to do? Today we're going to start cleaning up the band switch and the we'll try to do this antenna coil and the oscillator coil. This here is pretty much cleaned up. You just got to clean up the lugs, and we're going to get this thing prepped off with some new wires on the thing. I still had to recone that speaker after I was flipping this thing around. I took the screws out of it so that I could pick up the speaker out of the thing, and when I went to roll it over one way, the speaker kind of fell out. There's enough play there in the wiring. It fell out the other way, and it hit one of these knobs that I had on here for testing. It hit one of these knobs and went right through the speaker cone. So I was enraged at that time, and I took the rest of the cone out. So fortunately for me, I've ordered plenty of speaker cones, 4-inch, 5-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch, and 6x9-inch, and 5x7-inch. So I'm loaded for bear, and my nose is starting to reek again. Every time in the mornings, whenever I take my med, my nose starts going nuts. And I hadn't noticed it too much in the recent past, but I guess it was there and everything. But yeah, if it was my butt, it wouldn't be no problem. by my nose, it starts to pump out the mucus, and it hoses me up. I gotta snort every once in a while. So anyway, that's all this segment we'll cover. We'll continue on after we get something else accomplished. So thanks. Okay, back again. We got this band switch all cleaned up. All the lugs are nice and clean and pretend. What the heck is this? Oh. Do it. Well, this one here, I think this lug here is the only one that shares both sides of the wafer. The switch on the inside and the switch on the back side. Doggone mosquitoes are trying to carry me away. So there's that. So we're going to put that out in the dip and get it all cleaned up, and then we're going to take it apart, and then we're going to put it in the tub again and scrub it, the wafers, that is. So we'll be taking the ferrules and the bolts and nuts off and separating the wafers out. So there's that. Now we'll move on to the antenna coils. So stand by. Okay, folks, there we are. All nice and liquefied. The other sides, yeah, that ought to be making pretty good contact, I would say, when you go to switch it. Notice here, where are we? Notice here, I etched in the switch number. S3 is on the back. Yeah. S2, yeah, help if I turn it around right. S2 is on the inside of the thing. Let's get this out of the way. S5 is on the back side of the front wafer. S4 is on the front side. So the only thing you have to worry about if you take these apart, once you get them indexed and you find out which one is one, and you see the orientation of how the switch is assembled, all you need to do is index your shaft. Ooh, yeah. Oh, I'd like to stroke it. As Buzz would say. Range switch shown in position 1. That is the push button operation. Put it all the way, index it to the far left or counterclockwise, and take the switch apart. Make sure you ID these things before you do, and then make sure when you get them off and you get them clean and scrubbing up that you at least keep a thumb on the inner wheel to keep you from rotating that thing around. Either that, you can either do that, or you can index it with a mark, so you can, if you do move it, or it does move, you can rotate it back and align the marks again. So that's all we're going to do there. So let me get this thing in the tripod, and we'll put it back together. Alright, here's our shaft and our indexing plate and everything, all cleaned up, scrubbed, and buffed. I don't know if you could see that. You see that little nick right there? That is my index mark to go with my index marks on the other wafers. So now what we're going to do is we're going to, excuse my hand if it gets in the way. I mean, it just I'll try to keep it out of the way. Otherwise I'd have to take and shut down the camera and move it to the other thing. Screw. We're going to put a short ferrule on there, and we're going to put the screw. Oh darn it, I'm either out of frame or I'm in the way, I tell you. Let me just shut down and relocate the camera. Hang on. Okay, now let's see if I can keep it in frame, because I can't look at this. I can't look at the screen and see if I'm still in frame or not, because it's on the other side. So we're going to put those in there, short ferrules, and then we're going to do S4, S5. Here's S4, S5. Okay, my index mark is right here, and my index mark is right there. This side, or this plane, is going to go on there, so S4 is in the front. We're going to slide it in place. Come on, get in place. Come on. Knickerbracker. Okay, there we go. Yeah. There we go. Both notches in line. So now we're going to go in with the other ferrules. And we're going to have S2 and S3. S3 will be on the outside. This side is S2, and the index mark is right there off of the first thingy. So now we're going to put that onto there. Then we're going to put a lock and a lock and a nut and a nut. Now, I hope I'm still in frame. Yay! Okay, now we're going to lock these down. Now, I've got these snugged up here and everything, but you'll probably want to put a nut driver on the back, or a 1/4 inch on the, or a pair of needle nose on the thing, and then snug them up a little bit, but don't torque them down or you'll crush the wafer. So there we are. We're ready to rock on this thing, and I'm not too enthralled about that, because that, remember what it looked like when it was in. Yeah, I'm going to be itching and scratching. So now, with that done, we're going to move on to the antenna coil and get it cleared up so that we can prep it for install. I don't think there's any real cleanup under the thing, except brush this up a little bit. and remove the wires. I'm going to use a combination of these wires. Yeah, a combination of these wires. I think these are all 20 gauge. I believe they are 20 gauge. And we're going to brighten this chassis up somewhat. And it's copper. It's copper. You can see that. It's copper. Not aluminum. So that's what we're going to do now. And then we'll move off to the getting the oscillator coil prepped and cleaned up. And then the triple trimmer assembly. And then we're going to get the chassis prepped for cleanup. So, I mean, that's going to fill out the day. And it's not too bad this morning. It's 10:30. And it's 83 degrees in the dungeon. In the oubliette. And we got a slight breeze. So, and it's blowing in the front door. And it feels good. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this segment. Stay tuned. We're going to load up some more. Thank you. All right. We've got the speaker curing up. We got the cone set back in there. We've got it set to one side a little bit because we're a little tight on the voice coil. So we want to take and make a slight adjustment to it while we're setting the cone, and then we'll give it about a couple hours or something like that. We'll pull the shim, we'll pull the clips, we'll pull the thing. Gotta remake this gasket, if you will, and then we'll glue up the rest of the voice coil. And then we'll cut a cap for it, a cover, a felt cover for it. Let me see, what else did we do? Oh, cleaned up and reflowed the wax on the oscillator coil. Cleaned up, and I don't think reflowed the wax on this because there's not much there to refloat or reflow. And we got this thing cleared up. And of course you've seen the switch. Oh yeah. And we've got the shortwave coil. I think that is. I'm not really sure. That's the antenna coil. The antenna coil. That over there is a shortwave coil, I believe. So anyway, that's it. So what we're going to do is, oh yeah, I got the push button assembly out here. I better get it out of here because it was sunny when I put it here, but it's getting gloomy. So anyway, we're gonna, this is all cleaned up. All I need to do is file the burrs off the shafts, and we got all the contacts clean, and we got all the the dirt and the crap off of it that was accumulated. I just got to do the shafts now. So that's going to be done a little later on. We're going to take a break now and go in and check some tube to see what's going on with the rest of the planet. And then we'll come out a little later on. It's I don't know, about 97, 96 in the oubliette. So anyway, we're going to add more to this if we can. Thanks for watching. Alright, we finally wound up flipping this chassis over and looking at its underbelly. Unfortunately, yeah, it's looking like a horror movie. Alright, here's what we're started to do. We started up here in this corner. We've got the off-on volume out, and we're clipping every doggone wire that we're tracking here. And the IF wires look like they're going to be okay. They're still a little pliable, not like you know, some of the other cloth covered wire, you know, that like this stuff that cracks when you bend it. We're not going to touch those IF cans, but we're going to touch the top side, try to get them all purified and everything. So now what we're doing is we're starting to go in here and trace these out where they go, and once they're traced out, any modifications, everything, we're going to be a snipping as we go. So we're talking about double, triple, and quadruple checking everything from point to point to make sure I've got it correct. And as you can see, I've already muffed it once there. That's the bad thing you got to deal with when you got all the wires of the same color. I mean, all the wires are the same color. So I got plenty of colors, so I got plenty of wire. we're gonna mix it up here in a little bit, and we are going to go with what I designate on the sheet for the new wire. So it could be red, it could be green, no, not green, but it could be red, it could be brown, it could be blue, it could be orange. It all just depends on what its function is. I mean, that was when you got all those when you got all the wires the same color, it's hard to track, you know, because that's what I did here. I tracked this here, and instead of going this way, the black wire right here, instead of going this way, I went right beeline right over here to the K7 tube. And whenever I got in there and started looking at it around, it didn't go there. So I got it corrected, and I used some white out on that to make the correction. So you got it. I know most of you are thinking, yeah, boy, he's sure got himself in a tight. Well, yeah. Hopefully you won't have to do any of this stuff, but I mean, if you ever get to doing it, and you got a situation like this, maybe not just like this, but similar to this, but not as bad. I mean, not clogged up, so you look at it and you start gagging. All the same colors. You're going to have to make absolutely sure you do a double, triple, and quadruple take on each point to point, and before you lock it down. So it's looking like there's only going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 capacitors in here to replace, and that's including the E-caps. There's one more there that I forgot. That one, this one over here. I got the terminal board in terminal strip in there for the E-caps that are going to go in. Well, we're going to clean that gamma globula up there before we go too far with it, because I got to make connections to that. I have to make connections to that. Yeah. There's a yellow wire that's got to go in here from here to up here. Jeez. I'm pointing down when I'm talking about this up here, and I'm pointing there when I'm talking about this down here. Okay, you dumb dodo. Okay, so anyway, it looks like it's 7 o'clock, and it's got back to about 91, 92 degrees in here, so we're gonna call it a day, and we'll pick it up again in the morning, and hopefully we'll be able to get the rest of this stuff in order. And here's my plan of attack. Now, I know I did it differently. Every something a brick-a-fracas. I verify and I start plotting it in here and everything. Go back, double check it. I'm going to snip the wire out. Take the next one, go in there, triple check, quadruple check, draw it in there, point to point. Go back, double check, triple check, make sure it's in it. It's okay. Snip, snip. It's coming out. Pretty soon there's not going to be anything but the audio transformer wire, the pickup wire for the phono input, these caps, and the wire for the IFs. All the other stuff is going to be gone. So it's going to look a whole lot better than it does now. So, hope. Got everything I need. So, alright, that's it for today. We're out of here. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment or two. And let me know what you think. See you later.